excerpt of Sheep Smarts is from chapter 1, The World I Knew. And Abel is 41. Although he doesn't mention his age at this point, or even his name, even though it's the first chapter of the story. Anyways, he is talking about the world I knew, or the world he knew. He says, there was now a gap between that which was needed and an even bigger gap still from that which was wanted and that which was available. The gap between supply and demand. Not just among humans, but among other animals as well. That there were no free meals for anyone. Everyone had to work hard to live. The humans had to work the ground, either sowing, cultivating, and reaping around all the thorns and thistles. The other animals had to forage for their food. Some of the bigger ones with teeth, claws, and talons even started using them for hunting. Among some other animals, it was eat or be eaten. The bigger, stronger animals usually became predators, and they preyed on the weaker, smaller animals. One of the weakest, most helpless kinds of animals I've ever met were the sheep. There were smaller animals who could do a better job of taking care of themselves, but sheep need constant attention and care. They need someone to keep them from getting too dirty and sick. Humans want to keep their wool clean enough since we use it for making clothing and blankets. Sheep also need someone to lead them to water and the good grasslands for grazing since they cannot figure it out for themselves. Healthy, well-fed sheep not only provide good wool, but they also eat some tough plants, some of which has thorns or thistles on it, which helps clear out some of the farmland. Their manure also makes good fertilizer for the farmland. Sheep are also very defenseless compared to other animals, armed with sharp teeth, claws, and talons. Sure, some of the male sheep, the rams, have horns, but they don't always use them in time. Enter the need for a shepherd. Someone who knows where the good grazing lands are, where the good drinking water is, which other animals out there are friends or foes, which sheep are due for shearing or cleaning, which females are carrying life in their bellies, which sheep tend to wander off, and all the possible places that those sheep would go. Someone who can also defend the sheep from predators by using warfare skills. Knowing when to stand one's ground and when to run. Staff tactics for short-range attacks and slinging rocks for further range attacks. Someone who can speak with a soft, gentle voice so that the sheep will follow. But someone who can be fierce in facing predators, trying to mess with the sheep. It's a lot to know, but I'm going into my 5th decade of experience with it. And I love doing something so meaningful with my life. It's not easy. Apparently nothing is in life. But it's never boring or routine for me. But I'm not alone at work. Besides the sheep, who are all named and respond to my voice cues, I have a few younger siblings who travel with me and help me, learning from me, and I learn from them as well. There are also some watchdogs that help in my work. The watchdogs travel around the outskirts of the herd, sensing danger that I cannot sense. We noticed they can hear, see, and alert us to dangers. They can also run faster than humans. And their acute sense of smell is also useful for sniffing out a sheep that wanders off. Above all, there is my Father God who is looking out for me and watching over all of us, just like I watch over my herd of sheep. The farmers are often so busy looking at the ground, minding their work, that they don't get as many opportunities throughout their workday to look up and around. If they only did, they would remember who we are all working for and why we are all working. This entire earth, as well as the sea, whatever is below the ground, and anything in the skies and heavens above, it all belongs to our loving Creator, the very same Father God who is watching over us. Some people in my family are starting to see him as hostile, thinking he's the one who made the thorns and thistles grow, mercilessly making us work for a living. That's not how I see him at all. Creation is just separated from him because of human rebellion and pride. But I have a reason to believe that Father God is loving, kind, and trustworthy. I have felt his reassuring presence throughout my life whenever I need him. I have actually found a deep kind of friendship with him that doesn't make sense to a lot of people in my family, especially those who still think he's hostile. He can even seem to read my thoughts. Sometimes I can even hear him speaking to me through dreams, through nature, through the wisdom of some of my family members, and through meditative thoughts. And he has said that he is working on a plan to fix the broken world and the separation between himself and the rest of his creation. All I can do is continue to trust him. Occasionally, I even ask him, "How can I help?" He just whispers to me, "My dear son, just keep doing what you do best. Learn to lead, provide for, and protect your family, just like you do with your herd of sheep. As you can see, humans are not much different from sheep." I nod in agreement. That explains why Dad can be so stubborn. And come to think of it, that's why I can also be stubborn. I laugh, and sometimes I can almost hear him laugh along with me. It's a friendship that I rarely find among my own kind. On another occasion, I have asked him, "Father God, a question came up among my family, and it got me wondering as well. But why did you even bother creating a creature that is so dirty, so dumb, and so defenseless that they require such constant, high maintenance care in the first place, especially since you knew that the world would become such a dangerous place? Why even?" He smiled and said to me, "I wanted to create beings bearing my image and likeness, like sons and daughters to me, carrying my light into the rest of my creation. I wanted them to have dominion over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the livestock, the wild animals, and the creatures that creep along the ground. By now, I had a very confused look on my face. What? Are you telling me why you created sheep? He chuckled. Oh, you weren't asking me about human beings? Remember, I told you that sheep and humans are not that different. We laugh for a moment as he continues. Sheep not only help clothe your family, but they also serve as a reminder to your family to be gentle and loving with each other, with smaller creatures, and to keep looking to me for guidance, leadership, provision, and protection. He also explains to me, and when my original intention was for humans to have dominion over the earth, let me also be clear that this is not the same as the concept of domination that you have been taught. Domination is treating something as though it were your own and doing whatever you want with it as its supreme dictator. Dominion is treating something as though it belongs to someone else, especially someone bigger than you, but you are helping them take care of it according to their will as a humble, yet willing and joyful servant. Be sure to share these words of wisdom and encouragement with others in your family. Not all of them listen to my voice the way you do, my son, but they could still use some encouraging words from a prophet like you. My jaw drops as I am once again awed and amazed at how Father God shares his wisdom with the likes of me. He also gives me a mission. No longer am I just a shepherd, but he also calls me a prophet. How exciting! My listening and observing skills are also serving me well for this task. Even some animals, like sheep, which are seen as too dumb to think and figure out things for themselves, have taught me some valuable lessons to strengthen my mind and my faith in my loving Creator. Even little children, whose value is not apparent by some of the decision-making men until they can be put to work in the field, have taught me wisdom with their humble, impressionable minds, wisdom that I don't see in even the dominant men who have been around before I was born.